So here we are, it's the first pre-season game of the season. Welcome to the Sheffield United way. We're trying to do things a little bit differently this season and just testing how it's going to work through the pre-season games that we've got happening. So we're at the ground doing our match reaction today. It's the first one. It's been chucking it down with rain despite the fact it's been sunny for literally the entire summer. As soon as I've come to football, got to get my raincoat on. But for the most part, just looking forward to getting stuck back in, looking forward to the new season, just excited to be watching Sheffield United again, because you know what? The summer's always a bit too long. I think it took me a while to get over the pain, the suffering, everything that happened last season. But to be here, to be watching United again, just feels fantastic. And now buzzing for the new season to start. So let's get into today's game and what happened in both the first half with our first team and the second half with the second 11, because we made a lot of changes today, a lot of players to reflect on, a lot of tactical things to maybe think about what we're seeing for the first time from 𝗲𝗍, but mainly just glad to be back at the football. So that's a very wet first half, but it's 3-0 to United, and for a first showing under 𝗵𝗵𝗲, it's not something you can complain about. It's all about fitness more than anything else, we know that. But it's been nice to just see United attack and actually do pretty well, if we're being honest with ourselves. It's been a pretty good performance. We've seen a lot of what we heard was going to come from 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗍's teams. They've pressed high. They have aggressively tried to win the ball back. And for the first time in, well, how many months has it been now? 9. We've actually seen Tom Cannon properly involved in a game of football, got the assist for the third goal, and maybe out on the left wing, that could be his position. So first off, so good, to be honest. Obviously, it's going to be a completely changed team now for the second half. So let's think about some of these performances. I think the defence has looked shaky. I think we've had some problems back there. Obviously, they're not settled as yet. There's been a couple of moments where they've got in behind us quite easily. Now, I think that's a combination of the players just not being up to speed, but also the way that United are going to approach this season. We've seen the positives, I talked there. Exciting attacking football, starting to press high, really trying to win the ball back early. But when they've got out, when they've played through us or played a long ball over the top, it has been a little bit of a problem for us. They've been quickly on our back line. Their left winger has had so much space in against 𝗍𝗍𝗍. He's had no luck with it, but obviously that's a quality difference. I think if we were playing against a team with a bit more quality, they could have punished us in those positions. We've seen Jack Robinson have a couple of moments looking shaky, and we've also seen Sam McCallum at left back, and that really has been a little bit of a battle for him. But we've got through it. We've not conceded. It's not been a disaster, and it's really been all about the attack for me. I think 𝗲𝗏𝗼𝗏 has had a fantastic game. I think he's worked for the third goal, dribbles the ball, wins it back on the halfway line, and just dribbles and dribbles and dribbles. Picks the right pass to release Tom Cannon. He sets up the goal. The first goal, it's off a corner. Blades, we've scored off a corner. We scored one, I think, all of last season. So it's so very nice to see us get ourselves off the mark in the first game of pre-season, albeit in a game that doesn't matter whatsoever. The only concern for me, really, coming out of that first half is potentially 𝗍𝗏 at half-time looked like he could have picked up an injury, didn't participate in the cool-down with the rest of the team, was actually seen to be hobbling off just a little bit, supported by one of the coaches. I'm sure it's nothing, I'm sure it'll be fine, but might be one to keep an eye on in the post-match review. The second goal, the only one that we've not really talked about, and the reason for that is that it came so quickly after the first. It's a nice goal, it's very well taken, but it's also one of those where they'd just come out to play a little bit with caught them behind. This was the attacking football. This was forward passing, trying to play vertically, getting the space in behind to release Brooks, just fired it into the bottom corner. It's probably the most well-worked of all the goals. We've got one which is fantastic dribbling from 𝗍𝗏𝗼𝗏 to create the chance, one that's a bit scrappy off a corner, one that is lovely flowing football, which maybe is the blueprint for what it is we're going to be trying to do. The only other thing to shout out is that their keeper made 2 of the best saves that you're going to see. He did a double save and then immediately got up to save from a long distance. It was an outstanding moment. We got a full round of applause from just about everybody in the ground. So yeah, it's pre-season, it's a little bit of fun. I wish it wasn't raining. It's been the nicest weekend of all time, and yet today heavens have opened and I am soaked, but I don't mind getting soaked watching the Blades if they're going to play that well, and if it's going to be 3-0 at half time, I'll take that all day long. Let's see what the second half team looks like. Well, that's it, full time. First pre-season game under our belt. First game under 𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗍. It's a 6-2 win for United, but of course, very much the proverbial game of two halves. I think, bearing in mind we changed our full 11 at half time. Already had a look at what happened in the first half, so let's think about the second. And yeah, it was an interesting one. Within sort of 3 minutes, Ryan 𝗏𝗏 had made it 4-0 to United. I thought he looked lively when he first came on. I think the partnership maybe suits him better. When he's been playing solo, he's struggled a little bit sometimes, I think, in terms of his physicality. But partnering with 𝗤𝗄𝗲 today did make it seem as though he might suit a little bit better. Ended the game with 2 goals, looked really involved, really exciting. Obviously, you've got to account for the opposition that we're playing against, but that was really great to see a player who might have a big future, and obviously, hopefully, a big future at United if we can get him more involved, because, yeah, he looked bright today. The other players who came in, I thought, don't want to say it early, but I thought 𝗂𝗂𝗃 and I thought 𝗚𝗏𝗃 both looked a little bit out of their depth, if we're being honest with ourselves. Neither of them really impressing today. I mean, they didn't really get involved in the game at all. I would possibly describe it as anonymous. In terms of the other players who stood out, 𝗤𝗄𝗲 got himself a goal, which is nice to see. Obviously, after what happened at Wembley, it's nice to just see him back wearing red and white, or purple as it was, and getting himself a goal. I think that's really important, just to really try and build up his confidence again. I thought Bindon looked really good at the back. I really enjoyed seeing his range of passing. I thought he looked strong, physical. I thought he looked really involved as well, which was great to see in terms of the potential that he's got to be a huge player for United for the rest of this season. One of the bits that worried me is we switched off for 10. Now, don't get me wrong, the free kick's a fantastic goal. We can't say anything else. They've took it beautifully. You can't really knock anybody for that. But after that, we allowed the game to just run away from us just for 5-10 minutes. Not a huge deal. It's first game of pre-season. It's more about fitness than anything else. But it raised a few question marks. I thought Hampson maybe looked to step off it today. I don't know if he wasn't fully fit. He came off quite early on in that second half. But there was just a few question marks, particularly around that second goal. It's so easy. Header off a corner where basically there's just a man completely unmarked at the back post. Frustrating, but not really the story of the game. The story of the second half, if we're being honest, is 𝗤𝗏𝗲 playing in that deeper role. He was dropped back into the centre of midfield and he looked outstanding. Some highlight reel passes that he was playing, just pinging them left, right and centre. I mean, obviously, against York City, yes, 𝗤𝗏𝗲 is the best player on the pitch, but my word, he was the best player on the pitch. He's just different gravy to anything else that United have got, and it's fantastic to see that from him, because it's just such a standout position. So I think if we can get him playing in the centre, and from what we've seen today, I think that will be his position for the rest of the season, comes more naturally to him, and it's fantastic for us to see, because I do think in that position, he's going to be really dangerous. A couple of other players who deserve just a quick mention, not always necessarily great. I don't think Rhys Norrington-Davies is it. I don't think he can be our fourth choice centre-half. We've got to bring another one in. A couple of other sort of shaky moments from him today. And Harrison Burrows is just great. I think we can always just agree that Harrison Burrows is great. Some of his crossing today, outstanding. The one for 𝗤𝗄𝗲's goal, he puts it perfectly. You could not put it in a better position for 𝗤𝗄𝗲 to just head that home. It's a beautiful ball into the box. So overall, it's 90 minutes in the tank. A lot of players have been able to get out there just to run around a little bit. They've now got him, as you can see behind me, running like mad at full time, just to make sure they keep going, just to keep building that fitness. But yeah, positive. First game. What more can you ask for? We asked for Ruben Selles. I told you it's going to be a bit more exciting. It's going to be high intensity, really trying to get goals into our game of football. 6-2. We'll take that. That was fun. I've enjoyed pre-season. I've enjoyed the first game of the season, and I'm looking forward to getting properly stuck back into it. Up the Blades.